Good afternoon to you. It is 3:34. You're tuned to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here. And we're also live on Facebook and YouTube. It's another Celebrate What's Different conversations with the Barber National Institute. And today our topic is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. We have a full slate of guests, and we're going to introduce you to them as we bring it up. So we're going to start with Michelle Izbicki. She is the Associate Director of Intellectual Disability Services at Barber National Institute. She's here in studio. Michelle, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Barber National Institute.
Sure. I'm the Associate Director for the IDS Unlicensed Day Programs. Those are programs.
Say that one more time. Unlicensed day programs?
Unlicensed. There's unlicensed and unlicensed programs. The unlicensed programs focus on those programs in the community. That being employment, so supported employment, which is one of the focuses that we're talking about today.
Right. Yeah.
Small group employment, which is basically a transitional program for individuals with intellectual disabilities and or autism who want to eventually get a job in the community. And then we also have our Club Erie program, which is 100% CPS services in the community where they can join.
What's a CPS mean?
Community supports participation.
Okay,
so
great.
what the focus for that program is to get involved in the community through volunteer activities, even going to different businesses or places where individuals may find the interest in getting a job. So going behind the scenes to learn how to be either at a theater, what you do to get a ticket, and then also volunteering to be part of a group in the community. So a coffee club or book club, something like that. So those are the unlicensed programs. So,
there's a lot to be said about the idea of disability employment because, let's just face it, in towns like Erie and across the Commonwealth, our workforce involvement is down, and we're trying to get as many people employed and engaged. And it's kind of where you come in,
Yep.
right? So talk about why these programs are important for employment.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Prior to COVID, we had a steady amount of individuals who were in working in the community, competitive integrated employment in the community. And we saw during COVID that number had dropped a little bit.
Okay.
And then entering the workforce, as we all know, we had a hard time. A lot of businesses had a hard time hiring people to their places of employment. What we saw were a lot of businesses then starting to reach out to us because we had willing and able people who wanted to have jobs. Our focus in supported employment is finding those individuals who want to have a job in the community, to get them in a business where they're happy to be at. Mm-hmm. The retention for those individuals is super high. So you're not only getting an individual who's motivated to work, you're getting an individual who has a low likelihood of calling off and leaving, which is good for businesses because it's a lower turnover rate for them.
Kind of that perfect employee, right?
Absolutely.
As far as those skills.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And currently we have services in Warren, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Bedford, Somerset, and as far out as Philadelphia, as you'll see today. Yeah. And across all of our programs, we have 108 individuals who are employed in businesses in the community. And out of those 108 individuals who are employed, 55 of those out of those 108, 55 businesses hire them.
So we have about 55 businesses through the Barber National Institute that have engaged the employees from your training
Correct.
program.
So out of 108 that are in our supported employment program, they're at 55 different businesses, which shows that businesses are interested in our individuals. So they've hired more than one to work at their businesses.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Talk about what this training might entail, and what would be a typical pathway to employment?
Sure. So there are several different pathways. You can start as early as education, where there are several programs by OVR
Again, what
of
does that
Office
mean?
of Vocational Rehabilitation.
Okay, appreciate
That's
that.
a funding
Thank
source,
you.
basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are several programs within OVR that will help prepare a student who wants to be in employment down the road.
All right.
And they can take advantage of that in when they're in school. But then you can also do it as an adult. If you decide later on down the road, like some of us may decide later they want to have a job, there are programs that the individuals can get into to prepare, such as our small group employment at the Barber Center. It's a transitional program where they learn soft and hard skills. Soft skills meaning, what do I do if I don't get along with a coworker, or how do I call off? Hard skills are those actual skills, learning to clean dishes or vacuum or wash windows, those types of things, and they get ready to get a job in the community. Once that happens and they're ready to be in the community for a job, they go to our supported employment program. Well, they'll have a one-on-one coach to help them through the process of figuring out what they want to do, finding a job in the community that they like, applying for that job. We're there with them the whole time, even interviewing with that job. And then for the first, typically about 40 hours, we're with them one-on-one to make sure that they are skilled in that position. And then we begin to do what we call fading, and eventually have that individual by themselves independently in the community job on their own.
Terrific. This is, it's super important, to make sure that employers are creating this inclusive workspace for individuals with disabilities, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think some of the key elements are for that?
One of the misconceptions that some employers kind of think is that they're going to have a lot of adaptive things for individuals coming into their businesses. And studies show that that's highly unlikely, that they have to spend a lot of money doing it. It could be something as simple as having an individual near a time clock so that they can see where it's at, or writing a schedule out for them, a picture card for them. It's a lot easier than people who are employing our individuals may think it is. And also, one of the things that we strongly encourage is natural supports. Okay. And that's basically having our coworkers surrounding our individuals to help them through the process. And we found that in those situations that morale is a lot higher in businesses because of that.
All right, well, let's pivot then and go to Carmine. He's via Zoom right now, and he is a general manager at a WaWa in Middletown, Pennsylvania there, Carmine. I talk about what works in inclusive hiring. I'd love to hear, first off, kind of your approach to at WaWa to corporate diversity, inclusion, equity, and how this fits with the Barber National Institute.
I mean, I've been with WaWa for 15 years in the Philadelphia market, and I recently moved out to Central PA. And as long as I've been with the company, we've had a supported employment program going on. And I know it's been a few decades that we've had it. So recently, we just added the Collective Abilities Alliance to our win group. So that's the big win for us as a company. But one of the main things I think that comes into play is that we're able to bring in another group of people to the store to help serve our customers, our community, and we're doing it with people from our community as well. So I think it makes a big impact, and you can get local people to help out and serve their community as well.
Let's be specific about the tangible and the intangible benefits that you find in employing employees, that you're getting from the Barber National Institute.
Sure. So, I mean, I've met up with Marliana probably a few years ago at a store in Philadelphia, and we've stayed in touch even when I came out here to Central PA. And I think some of the benefits we've seen in all the stores with people from Barber Institute is that it's been thinking about the store I worked at in Philadelphia on Delaware Ave. We had an associate come in, we hired him. And he was on the quieter side when he joined us, but you saw him light up and his personality come to life when he'd come to work. So over the course of a few weeks and months, you really start to see his true self shine through, and it lifted his spirits, lifted the spirits of the team to see someone transform like that. And also, it's just great to have someone out there that is helping out the store and the community. So I think it benefits both parties.
So, what do you think, as you talk to other employers, what would be some of those common misconceptions or maybe a fear that an employer might have. And I think Michelle spoke a little bit to this, but maybe your perspective.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I was going to say the accommodations piece of the puzzle. I think there is a big misconception with that. I felt like that was not, I'd say the training wasn't any different for anyone from, the Barber Institute as it would be for any new associate, right? So anyone's learning a job, they're learning a task. And they get treated just as we would any new associate. So we kind of walk them through things, give them notes, kind of give them feedback, have conversations. We check in on them. So I found that it's not much different from hiring just a normal associate.
What would be some of the things that WaWa did as far as an accommodation or an adaptation from your perspective?
I don't think they hadn't been needed that much, honestly.
Okay.
I'd say, anything that we've done as far as, we have job coaches in the beginning, like she had alluded to that, they kind of fade back a little bit, but it might be just that we check in a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But, everyone knows, their shifts and when they work and, what their roles and responsibilities are. So, maybe we clearly define that a little bit more, but, that's what we do for our associates as well. So, in the beginning of a shift, we make sure that everyone knows what their plan is for the day, and that goes the same for Chuck when he was with me.
So when you think about expanding this part of your employee group here, what could agencies like the Barber National Institute do to help you and other employers kind of navigate the challenges of dealing with folks that want to be employed but maybe are carrying a disability here?
Sure. I think education and educating the companies and the businesses on how they can be helpful in that way is probably the biggest thing. My experience working with them has taught me the benefits of having another team member from the community join. So I think that was something that could be brought out, and just staying in contact with those businesses. Most stores that I've been with at WaWa had someone either from the Barber Institute or a supported employment associate. Mm-hmm. But the one I took over recently in Philadelphia didn't. So I reached out to Marliana, and we went through the process, and we added an associate there. And out in Middletown, we just opened 2 weeks ago. So as we get up and running, I reached out to Marliana and Gail to see what our options are in Central PA, to see if we have anything close or what we can do there. So it's just staying in contact and always touching base and doing what we can do to make these win-win situations.
You feel like the corporate the corporate leaders are seeing that these kinds of relationships and the broadening of the employee base is a net win on a sheer dollars and cents level, do you think?
100%.
Cool.
I mean, you think of the last 5 years and how the world has been and how the economy has gone. This program has never left. It's been strong all the way through, and I've been able to put applications in, and they've all been accepted. So I think they're fully on board with it.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk about the role of a job coach in supporting adults with disabilities, and we have Marliana Williams, job coach at Barber National Institute. She's down in the Philly area along with Charles Potere. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm butchering your names here, who's also employed with WaWa since 2016. Marliana, and pronounce that back to me if you would. Can you explain what a job coach is and your role in the workplace, especially supporting employees with disabilities?
Hi, so it's Marliana, which you're doing a good job, so thank you.
I'm adding an extra syllable, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. The role of a job coach is to what I like to think of as the individual having that extra support system, that buddy to walk them through the different steps that they need to go through in order to obtain a job. Show them some things that maybe they've never seen before, whether it's how to put together a resume or doing some of the standard trainings that get you to the onboarding process to an actual job. That we like to say that we don't get the individuals jobs, we get them careers. So the ultimate goal is for them to be hired and to put some longevity in to hopefully one day retire from their position.
And when you work as a job coach, how do you bridge this gap between the employee's abilities and what the employer is expecting from that person? Depending on what role that they're going to have. I think at WaWa there's so many different roles that you could plug into, right?
Absolutely. I know me personally, when I'm out in the field with an individual, or even if I'm out by myself doing job developing, I usually try to let the employer know, one, our individuals love to work. They're looking for some employment. They're looking forward to have something to do or a place to go on a daily basis. It gives them, some structure. So to have one of our individuals come on board, you not only do you gain a committed employee, but you also gain a job coach that's going to be there to support them, to see to it that they get to do everything that everyone else does. Going on board, working at WaWa, that was actually where I started at. Carmine wasn't the manager at that particular time, but I stressed to all the employees as well as management, Chuck is here to perform a task. Don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to give instruction just like you would give anyone else instruction. And if it's something that he doesn't understand or that anyone else doesn't understand, just quite naturally, he's going to say, can you help me understand that? And I think Chuck kind of made it easy for me coming on board as a job coach, because he's very independent, and I will honestly say he showed me a lot of things. WaWa was great. The management team there working under Carmine was amazing because, again, they never made the individuals feel like there was a difference between the other employees and them. Everybody was included. We got to do everything else that the other staff did. And like you said, we keep those relationships, we stay connected. And that's one of the most important things, is to make sure that the management team and the other employees understand that we're here. We're going to keep staying connected, just in any event that you need someone else.
It's got to be really helpful that you have an employer like WaWa that is in alignment with what your objectives are. And that you're able to align the employees from Barber National Institute to be in alignment for what makes a successful convenience store at WaWa. Can you talk about that positive working relationship?
It's a thing where these guys come to work, the customers are looking for them. If they're not there, they're asking for them. The staff checks in with them. It makes it feel like, hey, I'm actually coming in, I'm making a difference. And people notice. People notice the hard work that these guys put in when they come on the shift. They notice a difference when they're not there. And it means a lot to them as well as myself and the management for WaWa.
Let's go to Chuck here. Chuck, what do you think? What about working at WaWa makes you happy? How does work matter to you?
It makes me feel great.
Awesome. And can you give us a little bit about your day? Can you share a little bit about getting to work, what that's like? What's your favorite part of the job, and so on?
When I get to work, I clean the counters and do the cups, do the straws, do the lids, everything, sweep and mop everything, and countertops all over, and I do the napkins.
What do you hope? Do you have any future job goals? What would you hope to do as you grow in this job, Chuck?
I'm not sure yet.
You want to keep working. You want to keep going here.
Yes.
I appreciate it very, very much, and great to meet you guys. I want to finish up here with Michelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Michelle. Put a bow on this here as far as the strategic nature of this, of disability employment. I mean, again, we're focusing on that this month of October, and share, how this is really checking a lot of boxes.
Yeah, supported employment, competitive employment is important to our individuals with intellectual disabilities and autism. They want to be members of the community. Yeah. They want to earn that tangible paycheck. They want to feel like they belong just like the rest of us.
And they're contributing to the success of the organization, of the employer.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to be part of the success of the business.
Yeah.
They want to feel proud that they work at WaWa and every day is a good day and they've cleaned the counters or made it clean in the buildings or wherever they're working. So it's important for us to be able to support them in the way that we are supporting them for following what they want to do. I mean, they come in with a goal in mind, and we sit and we try to accomplish that goal. Whether it starts low or it's an attainable goal down the road, that's our job to do. But our biggest thing is to help these individuals grow and feel like they're part of the community. And that's all they've ever really wanted. And that's part of the focus of the Barber Center, is getting them being included in the community in any way, aspect, or form.
If an employer wants to find out more about how they can maybe build a bridge with potential employees from the Barber National Institute, what should they do?
They should call us at the Barber National Institute. They can reach out to me, Michelle Izbicki, and I'll be able to direct them and to our supported employment programs. And that's for any city or state around Pennsylvania, or a city around Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We'll get them to the correct people, and we'll take a look at the jobs that they have and weed through the tons of individuals who want jobs and get you somebody who's going to work in your business.
Celebrating National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and we're celebrating what's different. Conversations with the Barber National Institute. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you
for your time here. It is 3:56.